Good morning. I'm going to try this again with my new computer. These are our triplets. There's Aiden, Maddie, and Emily. They were born on February the 3rd, and you'll find out why I'm showing about the triplets. They're so awesome, honest. Okay, today we're going to do metaphor, signs, and symbols. And metaphor is when you're saying one thing is another. Sometimes we may be art journaling about something difficult, or what I call evil inner witch. And right now, she is set over there, where she can stay, as far as I'm concerned. But she represents my evil inner critic. And that evil inner critic does not allow us sometimes to make some of our stuff literal. Perhaps we don't want to share the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and it can have us stuck. It is our truth, but we don't want to share the most intimate details. This is where metaphor comes in. By using metaphors, we can journal, write, and or paint our truths so only we know about it. You know, if you have a quilt that a grandmother made, or you have a crocheted Afghan that you've made, you can pick that up decades later and know what you were feeling and what you were doing and where you were at that time. Through art and writing poetry, we express ourselves in new ways. In art, we can use signs, and metaphor allow us to express an idea, an experience, an object, a feeling. And it's a way of expressing yourself in words that are like a mystery or a puzzle to other people, but to us, we know exactly what it means. In poetry, you might refer to a universal person, maybe a place, a thing, to represent the things we feel or know or are writing about. A metaphor is really important in poetry. Another instance, you all know that Van Gogh either cut his own ear off, or some say maybe somebody else cut it off, but it is said that he cut his own ear off out of sorrow for his anger. So if we drew an ear as a metaphor, it could represent suffering and passion. Passion drove Van Gogh because he was angry at another painter. So knowing this, if we wrote a poem about an ear or painted a page about an ear, we're using that ear as a metaphor for unguarded passion, for ways we hurt ourselves, not physically, but perhaps emotionally, intellectually, or spiritually. As well, we think about the name of this course, When Frogs Sing. Frog represents transient in our lives, change, metamorphosis. It is a symbol of transition and transformation. In Native culture, the frog has many meanings, but I will simply say that should one appear in your life, or your art, or your poetry, it represents change, and because the frog is connected to water, it also represents cleansing. And believe me, there is no better cleansing than writing poetry. When I wrote my life story, after being asked for many years to do so, there were lots of things I couldn't write. Lots of things I couldn't write. And so many times I use poetry in there to express those feelings, and it's heavy with imagery and metaphor. Water is a connection to our feelings and our feminine energies. So if we use the metaphor of a frog, you realize we're learning more and more in this class for the whole year, When Frogs Sing. And it's all about how we change. I wrote a poem for the triplets, and because I love their mother so much. And I'll share that with you next.